Hey folks, we are going to get started on some more artwork today. Here is our painting at hand. I need a moment here to post that I'm live and checking on my signal and stuff. That's going to take about a minute. You can skip ahead in time to catch the other side of that if you want. Holy Hannah, that is loud and proud. If you guys have any trouble hearing the music in the background underneath me, let me know. I can switch things around. I was doing some quick social media posts, and we'll have about an hour or so for us to do some more landscape artwork today. So for those that don't know, my name is Phil Kearney. I create role-playing games, I illustrate them, and then I publish them online. And we've been creating content for Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition, publishing on DMsGuild.com, the stuff that we build for the past 7 years. And I stream the artwork that I do here on stream to prevent crushing loneliness. I can at least talk to somebody that might actually talk back at me. So I've finished all my updates. Let me fix my screens. There we go. If you think this stuff is cool, like, subscribe to the bell icon for notifications of when we are live in the future. And let me fix this. There we go. Nope. Just gotta fix my shit. There you go. My shit's fixed. All right, now we can get to work. So here is our reference image. I'm changing composition a bit because it's not the same format. Well, actually, it is the same format, but that's just a shitload of forest. I don't need that much tree going on in this piece. We don't need that much. We need more like, well, we're actually looking for something more like this than anything. So that's the space that I'm taking into here, and we're embellishing and changing the land masses on the ground and stuff. But it's a fun piece. I am thoroughly enjoying this so far. We've completed. Let's get that out of the way. Bump, 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 bump. All right. So here we start with a blank white page. It's 16 by 9 format, meant to fill the tablets and stuff that people look at stuff on. Here is the sky that we've created. A lot of fun. And then the mountains that we just dropped in over the past 4 episodes. And the highlands for the highlands in front of the mountains that then bleed into the hills that we're in the process of creating, that then fade into the far forest that's up on the ridge line, and we'll continue from there. So let's pull our reference image back in real quick, and this is where we're starting. So this is where we're going. Let me checking all the boxes. All right, we're good. So here we go. I'm going to grab this eyelash brush, reduce its size. High intensity is good, it's about 60%. I can pull on these up and down to create more of a forest look to these pieces here in the distance. There we go, 70% smudge strength. That's giving us good lines. So we're going to, at the top of these trees, we're going to push them up so that they create the little, the little evergreen look that trees get when they're spiky like that. And then we'll fade out the bottom to blend them into the terrain. So they aren't sitting like currently they're just kind of sitting on it, right? We can change that. They're insignificant detail that you can find when you zoom in, and our eye knows it's there. So let's go with a different type. We're going to use just our cloud smudge brush with a low strength, like a 30% strength smudge. And I'm just going to work the bottom of the tree into the rock. We're going to be doing a bunch of layering to build up this forest stuff here. So this will be layer 1, and then we'll just stack over it. We might drop the opacity a little bit on this. I'm not 100% sure about that. Maybe maybe dust it with an eraser first before we add in the next layer. That might. Ooh, God, I am super loud. Hold on. No, stop, stop, stop. Thank you. That'll be better. Ooh. Let's grab those lashes again. There. Yeah, that volume is better. Good. Let's see. Smudge brush equals cloud equals 30%, and then we fade in. There we go. I am fucking loud. Let me adjust that a little bit. I bet I don't need to be this loud. Let's see if I can go to open sound settings. I discovered this yesterday when I was hunting for it. Output device, input device. Let's see, device properties, volume. I can cut that down to 50%, and I bet that'll end up sounding better. So we'll go with that and see if that mixes good. I did not know that tab existed until last night, and that was a wonderful discovery. I don't really know how this machine works. I just pray to the gods of Silicon that it doesn't die on me. Well, hey, Fox, what's going on? Good. Thank you. Hey, Fox, how you doing, my man? Appreciate that. I could hear myself too easily. I keep my volume down to like 1% on YouTube, and you see me futzing with it occasionally. That's just so I can distantly hear it. So if it stops, I know that stream is dead. So I use it just to monitor myself. But if I can hear myself too much, it becomes really obnoxious. Right now, I don't think it's at a volume that's bothersome to anybody. You probably can't even hear the echo through my microphone. So, well, when the music stops, I bet you will be able to. But I don't know. I could probably run this channel better than I do. So there you go. Fair enough, my man. Soldiering on, sir. Soldiering on. It's what we do. Wait, this is a very slow process. I could very well see myself someday with a truly personalized AI machine saying, "You see what I just did there? Just do that. Just add some more shit in here." I could see myself leading into an AI doing that. There we go. That's still louder than I want. There. That'll get me where I want to be. Thank you. Okay, great. So we have that in there, and I could do that a bunch, and it'll end up looking good. So let's do it a bunch. I'm going to add in another layer on top of that. What do we got going on here? Nothing. Nothing of importance. We got going. Oh yeah, we already got the start of another ridge down here. So I don't have any overlaps right now, so I should be good to go. Let's just grab our eyelash brush, and we'll punch the strength of the smudge up to about 70%. We'll grab. Oh, it looks like we already did a little bit over here. Very good. Yeah, that'll work. Ooh, let's do this. Break up this clot a little bit. We'll go to 0. There, we'll dust across there, and then we'll use the same brush to pull on the lashes here. There we go. That's a fun little cheat we just discovered. I'm still learning how to use these tools. You never master the tools. You just get better and find new ways to use your tools. Hey, Steve. Thanks, Fox. Glad you're enjoying this one. I'm really a big fan of this one, too. I'll work this ridge line in, and then I'll show you where my brain is at with the piece overall. So I've got some, at the very beginning of the stream, I did a quick shot of the composition. I don't know if you're around for that. Probably not. So I'll demonstrate that again to you guys, just so you see where we're at and where we're heading. It's Friday here in Finland, so as usual, I'll be on stream tomorrow morning. I'm not sure how many people we're going to have involved in playtesting tomorrow. We might have enough to kick, and if so, then I will stream at 6, like super early Seattle time, and stream for a couple hours. We'll get through the Ranger conversions for the color mana system, and then we'll go play some Mage Tower on my Discord channel, and then I'll spend the rest of the day off doing productive stuff that Phil's do. There, okay, so there's that. Now let's take the bottom here with the cloud brush and the 30-some-odd%, and we're just gonna smudge in the base of this just to work it into the rock. Neat, we got like this neat little ridge going across here behind these trees. Like you can see this little jag here, and then it continues here. That's cool. I would put a scout like right there, like a lookout. Smudge this in. Where do we go from here, huh? To Smudgeland. Population, me. Luckily, this is a shorter burst, so it doesn't take that long. And I'm probably going to get lazy about how I'm smudging this stuff. We'll see if it matters like at all. It probably won't. There. Sam, so far so good, so what, right? Maybe we can drop that just a smidge. I like that. Okay, cool. So let me get the reference out of the way. Yeah, here's the composition that I'm pretty much envisioning. So we got this interesting flat that's happening over here. I might mess with it, like I might drop the contour down here like this to separate those two things. I'm not there yet, but that's what I'm thinking about. This will all be water that we're going on through here. We got the foreground bit here to help conceal the size of the space off screen. Front ridge line here, large foreground, so we can add shrubbery and grass and all the little Italy bits that I like to add in. But then this will be mostly water here that we'll be able to reflect the mountain into. So that'll look cool. This is the composition in general. There's actually a nice little empty space over here that we could drop like a dragon or some shit. We could put the temple. I'm still thinking about that temple being here, but I'm letting that stir for a while and like have like maybe some like fortress things going along the wall there, and maybe we can have like a distant citadel of some sort. I don't know. But there's opportunity once we get the environment built. There will be opportunities for us to layer in points of interest inside of that space, so it becomes something that you'd want to explore. If I really wanted to play with this, I could have like a foreground. I could have like a thing happening here. I could have a thing happening here. I could have a thing happening here, 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 and then probably like here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. What I could do? Oh, and I could put another one here. There. Nope, not there. The pass. That's the entrance point right there. So if I really wanted to, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. What was that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 points of interest. Maybe no point of interest here in the sky. So we'll get rid of this one. But the point I'm making is if I wanted to, and I don't know if I'd do this or not, but I could make this a 16 by 9 illustration that is part of a PDF. So the front page is this, and then these are clickable areas that would have like a 5-room dungeon inside the temple, or like a bandit camp over here, and some sort of exotic plant material here, and like there's like a Loch Ness monster in here, and maybe there's like a fishing community over here, temple, guardian facilities, blah. I can make this like a region, like a domain, and then in the PDF, the different areas that you click on the domain would then take you to those different areas inside, and like I could do a topography. A 50-mile area that this is encompassing, and then those points of interest relative to their position from the perspective of this image. That's something that I could do, and I could potentially kickstart a bunch of shit like that. So once I get done with all this D&D stuff that I've been doing, and I want to move into another space, this is the kind of design idea that I think I'm going to end up doing, like my one-page dungeons, but do a booklet of them based off of the terrain illustration that we do. So this becomes our book cover, a book cover for the little bundle of events and shit that can happen throughout here. So that's the idea anyway. I'm thinking about playing with ideas like that. And I could easily churn out one of those a month, for instance, and post that on Patreon, and then make a book of them, and like a calendar. I could then make a calendar of this, and then sell it, and then I would never make any money. But it'd be cool. I claim it was mine when I She was quite impressed. Well, thanks. Appreciate that, Fernando. All right, so that's the idea that we're playing with. So that's where I see us going. That's going to be the space that we have. Shut up, Phil. Get back to work. Dance, monkey, dance. Wrong color, Kearney. Let's go back to 100%. I like that faded look though. That felt good. So let's keep at this. Hold on. Before I just blindly dot in more shit next to that, let's pan out a little bit and look at our terrain. And then let's look at our reference image for comparison. Okay, so there's like a ridge thing going on here. Like you can see this dip in here. That's interesting. I like that space. I want to get into that space. Yeah, here's a good space for that. Let's do that here. Eyelashes. Strong percent. Yeah, we're just going to be we'll probably be spending today's episode doing trees. And then on Monday, we do this Monday through Friday in the mornings like this for about an hour and a half or so. Just to get the creative juices flowing for the day and to get my fix. I feel like I would benefit if I were to somehow change my life to go to bed earlier so I could get up earlier so I could do more art in the morning, but I don't know if that's possible. Before bed is when I have an opportunity to get a lot of production done, like off-screen stuff like page editing, layouts, text revisions. Right now I'm packaging the adventure, I'm taking like all the art assets and I'm converting them into 1-inch tokens for like monster tokens and the map terrain and stuff like that. All the shit I have to do to make the Eberron book useful to other people other than just being a book, like all the assets that is needed that you can just drop into the virtual tabletop. That's an assembly thing that I need to do. I think it would be a pain in the ass to try to get the PDF onto Roll20, but the asset packet, I could build out the asset packet on Roll20 to have all of the maps already set up and all the tokens in place and all the blah blah, make it like super easy for folks. So that's something I'm toying with right now. It would sure be a feature of convenience. So I'm compelled to do it. I've never used Roll20 for assets before, so it's probably time I started exploring the idea of it. Make it more usable. So I'll publish the adventure, and then once I get the Roll20 assets, I will figure out how to do that. And once I get the assets up on Roll20, I can make a bundle out of it for the actual PDF, and then the Roll20 assets, like ready built and ready to go. Arguably, I should do that before I release the adventure, but it's a chance for me to double tap, and I am not emotionally prepared to commit to that yet. It's something I want to do. It's not something I have done. So it's another thing that just adds time spent on Eberron, and I really want to get out of this space. I've been here far too long. I don't know. Maybe I could pay somebody to build that stuff, and I could do sharesies with them. I'd totally be willing to do that. I bet I could find somebody who can do that stuff. I mean, all the assets will be there. It's like, feed this shit in, look at the book, and make it happen on Roll20. I'll see you later. Like, that would be the conversation. I'll split with you 50-50 when it's done. I can also sell all the assets as a separate bundle. As a separate asset on Roll20, like make it like all the artwork and all the assets and tokens and stuff like that for $40, and then drop it down to $10 with the bundle with the book for like $15 instead of $13 for the Eberron adventure. So instead of spending $53 for all that stuff, it would be advertised as $25, and it would be a like 60% discount. That'd be a 40% discount. So that would not be bad, especially once I add the Roll20 asset bundle onto it for like $5, and then bundle that with a $13 thing to drop the whole cost down to $15. Yeah, there's bundle potential there, and the reason you want to do bundles like that is so you can throw them back up onto the front page. You can recycle bundles, right? Or rather, you can rebundle things into the same bundle and then sell that as a new bundle. That's legal. I generally tend to avoid doing that, but occasionally I will revamp a bundle, change, add on an asset, and that warrants creating a new bundle. Fade that in a little bit more. I love that. This feels really, really good. Let's keep that. I'm going to merge that down into this. Merge down. And this just does all the way down the mountain. What I think I'm going to do is I'm going to do a fade out. So we're working on this ridgeline now, but we'll have like 90% here. And then like if this was further down, it'd be like 75%. And then after this point, it pretty much becomes invisible, but it would be like 50%. So we'll do this fade, just like we do with the hillside, fading from crispness at the top down to blended out into the canvas. Similarly, we are dropping opacity of the tree lines as we move down the hill to simulate that same effect. So, what does that require? More stippling, more trees, Kearney. Get to work, stipple monkey. Let's find our next ridge line. This feels like a good ridge line over here, so I just want to build on this. It's just the point, it just caught my eye, so I decided to work on this. And this will probably all get covered up with forest, but it'll be here. So as we adjust the foreground, some of this stuff will end up poking through, and it'll just add to the depth and realism of the world that you are living in this world that's not made for you. Which was ironically made for you. Or I guess unironically. grab our eyelash brush here and dot across. There we go. I can just basically pull on all of this just indiscriminately. Again, we'll use the eraser to fade out the butt. We'll create a little gap there and then push up through there. I'm getting better at this, or rather maybe I'm getting more lazy with it. Or maybe I'm realizing it just doesn't fucking matter. So just go through the motions and get it done. I think that might actually be where we're at. So let me grab the eraser here with a low opacity. Oop, I want to use the smudge brush with a light opacity, and then working this into the hill itself. You guys are great. I sincerely, I appreciate the camaraderie. Thank you. It gets so lonely just sitting at your computer for years alone. Art is such a lonely business. I can't, even if I was to collaborate with somebody, they would be doing, it's not like we're like painting on, like connecting lines or anything. That would be really goofy. Let's add some pop right here. I like that. And we'll go back to our eyelash. Hey, maybe I'll actually get this done a little bit more expediently. I think I'm finding a rhythm with how this works. I think probably, yeah, 2 more ridges after this, and this layer of the project will be done. So we'll grab our smudgy brush, and thank you, smudge brush, drop the strength of it and work that in so it fades the butt. So I'm trying to figure out how to speed up this process without being lazy about it. And I think so far I'm doing okay. Ooh, yeah, I'm going to leave that one. I'm going to separate this into a different layer. I can feel that. Cool. Okay, so we've got our top line. We've got this line. We're going to take that one down to 90% over here, which is this and this. And then we're going to work this line here, which feels more foregroundy. So I'm going to add on another layer here. We have this like real subtle gradient change here in the hill. That feels like a slope. So I'm going to dot trees along that slope. I'm just going to let that sit like that. And then strong smudge. Increase that size a little bit. There we go. Yeah, I'm going to get bored of this. I'm already bored of this. This is processing. Seriously, like a little AI tool. I can just say, you see that tree line? Just do that and fade it as you go further down. Leave some space open for the terrain. And be like, okay, boss. And it would execute. And it's like, that's my style. There I am. I could see getting into gisting. That's, I bet, what it would be. Where AI is good enough that you can just, here's the gist of what I'm trying to do, produce it. And that becomes viable, accepted expression, like doing that on streams. Like, I'm going to do some gisting. I'm going to gist some landscapes today. Stop saying just, Phil. It's not gonna. It's not gonna be a thing. That's essentially what the AI tool in Photoshop is doing. It's like, give us the gist of what you want to do, and we'll figure it out. Like that's pretty much like literally what it's doing. I'm gonna undo that because I think I was using the eraser. Sure as Shiola. There. Smudge, not erase. Thank you, Kearney. But yeah, that is where the AI tools, the art tools that are using AI, that is basically what they're doing. You may have seen the banana commercial. Like Photoshop is like it has a fill. Like here's a banana, fill this space with a bunch of bananas, and it stacks up bundles of bananas in that space. Super cool. But yeah, I can see I can see making assets like forest assets like this, and it's like use those forest assets to give me a forest that from the perspective of being 7 miles away, something like that, and the AI will just fill it in. So I'm more like a director in that process than an actual artist. But that's our current complaint about AI anyway. But I can see the utility of it. Yeah, it feels pretty good. Let's leave that there, and we'll take this one down to 80%. Yeah, there we go. It's probably not dense enough. I probably need a whole lot more forest going on. So let's I guess, Jesus Christ, that's just like a wall of color. Like you can see like some little model speckles in there. So, if I'm gonna build up a mass like right here, I guess I need to do what I'm doing, but do it differently. That makes sense, Kearney. Let's go. Let's just start. I'm gonna hit save real quick because the computer's getting wonky. There, should be back. Cool. I'm just gonna block some of this in, and let's see where this takes us. So we've got that block. We're gonna use a mid-tone smudge, and just work this mass into the canvas a little bit. And then we'll use our eyelash brush, high power, and pull on the bottom. This is an idea. We'll see where this takes us. And then we'll pull down just for contrast. And then we push back up to get rid of those little bubble bounce effects. And then we'll go to an eraser here with a light smudge and blend that in. All right, cool. We'll do that. Now let's take the top of these and brush them a little bit. Let's push this up to reduce the difference, but to have a little bit in place. That feels good. Now what I want to do is let's grab a lighter color version of this. Yeah, and then dust it in there. Look at that, the very, very mild very mild model effect in there. Mottled, M-O-T-T-L-E-D. And then take our eraser and dot at it a little bit to fade it in to the terrain. And then we'll take our smudge brush and pull at the bits here so they match the same texture. Thank you, Timely Timer. I have 40 minutes left? Yep. There we go. That is literally what we were doing. So we can merge that down, grab this with the 82%, push that up. grab them together. Let's see. That one and that one. These are the ones I'm supposed to be working together. That goes to 100. Click those. There. %. It's working a little bit. Oh, interesting. Hold on. Right. Hold on. I got lost in the sauce. Something went awry on me. There's that. There's that underneath it. This is where we should be. That's a separate group right here. So let's see. I'm not quite content with that. How do I want to do this? Let's do that. Let's go with like a 50%. And let's just drop some eyelashes through here. And then pull on them. And then go back to our old smudge brush, low percentage. I'm figuring out techniques. This is me figuring out how techniques work. So we're futzing around to find out. Merge down. Do I like this mass? I mean, I think it's kind of doing what I want it to do. I don't know if it's any quicker than the other. It's a different way of doing it, but I don't know if it's actually faster or not. It's a fun little block, though. Dust through there, and then grab these eyelashes again. Go with a high smudge count. Just pull. And we'll add another layer in front of this. This will probably get us to where we want to go. We'll see. We're fucking around. We're finding out. Yeah, I don't hate this. Yeah, let's try doing another one of those. We'll drop another block. Let's just drop it into here. Right. There we go, like that. And we got our high smudge marks, so let's pull up these ridge lines here. I think this is going to be a case of it'll look good when there's just enough of it. Like overwhelm equals acceptance. And then we'll fade out the bottom. Switch back to the other eyelash brush. High strength pull. Up the size. There we go. That feels pretty good. Go back to our cloud, low smudge. I think that's, yeah. And then back to our eyelash brush, high smudge, pull, create that layering effect. Cool, cool, cool. And smudge brush again, lower strength. I just want to draw this out a little bit. Pardon the pun. And then eyelash brush. I shut down my window for somehow. I think I pressed the wrong button. Window. Thank you. There. Subtle, should be good. Okay, great. So we want to stack up another block. Let's put it over here. Let's hit save because it's being wonky. I'm going to take a sip of coffee here and water. Yeah, we'll just have it like just dump over. I bet this is going to work really, really nicely. I think we're figuring it out. Here, smudge it in. I think that looks really good. Let's take this, let's carve this up a little bit more. There. Hell, yeah, just volume equals success. I'm going to drop another one over here. And then just pull again. I need to start working on a D&D book so I have something to talk about. So I don't have the same conversation points when I'm not doing D&D art. Let's take that and drop it in here a smidge. There we go. And I feel like I need to add a little bit more volume. I'm just going to dot it in here like that because I can work that in as a separate layer. There. Pull smudge here, drop, smudge it in. Perfect. That feels really, really, really good. It's lighter than the density that we have on here. I'm pretty happy with it though. Yeah, this is smudge in the bottom. Sharp top. I like that. Let's just keep going. We can add. Yeah, we can add a little pocket here. That large mass there. I feel like that needs to break up a little bit. So let's grab our eyelash brush here and kick it up to a high rate. Just take through here. Just pull at this a little bit. There we go. That feels better. Now we have a little gap over here that I want to plug. Oof, yeah, that looks pretty cool. Let's We're just gonna keep stacking. So don't mind me. I'm just gonna do some more stippling here and drop in another little patch. This is kind of what we're stuck doing. I don't know. Maybe I can take some time over the weekend and finish up this, so that when we come back next time, we're not still just doing. Arguably, I should have done it with the mountain, all the striations and texture that we added to the mountain. I could have probably done a lot of that off screen. I didn't need to necessarily have you guys go on that complete journey with me. I think if the quality of the conversation was better, I would feel I'd feel more content about just streaming every moment of this picture. But the conversation has not been flowing freely for me. Fucking A, I love how that looks. That is so fun. There's that. There's that. There's that. Tree line there. Cool. So I can come in through here and. And we can go with the eyelash brush at a high strength. Hell yeah. That and that and that. We're getting close. See, I think I'll use this one here. Just want to increase the density of these things coming through here. Yes. Well, yeah, they would be, wouldn't they? Again, the reference image. See, you can see little spikes here, the tree line along the ridge here. They're so tiny compared to the mountain. There's entire forests down here. But the foreground pushes it all back. So you have to have this foreground here breaking the frame, so you don't have to to parcel out, like, what's the difference between this ridgeline here and this ground here? Like, what is that distance? It could be a mile or two. Yeah, absolutely tiny. So it's a pain in the ass to do it all, but it's, you know, it's got to get done. Photoshop really wants me to upgrade to 2027. Thank you. So I think it's sabotaging my machinery. It's not recognizing keystrokes as readily as it had in the past. Not since they've been pushing 2027. It's like they're shittifying my input. I don't know how they could possibly do that. Massive conspiracy theory there. But that's my personal experience. So let's fill in some more over here. Smudge out the bottom of this stuff, and then we'll work the branches into it. This is all going to get covered, so it's not really that important. Yeah. And fill that in here. And then erase the butt. There. See? Hey, that's a pretty good ridge line there. I can probably be done with those. So let's, yeah, I think I can get away with that. In the foreground. Yeah, let's be that. 7:34, we got some time. Oh, that's right. I'm supposed to take these and merge this all down and then drop its opacity down to like 90% so it fades a little bit. And this one is at 82. That's pretty good. And we've got 20 minutes left before we need to end session. So do you have any different styles depending on how far the object is? Yeah. This brush that we're using here is only for these different ridge lines. Here's a bigger look at it. It's just it can fake itself as a shrubbery, but its intent is to do this like distant, so it's just color, barely any texture to it. Which is different from the brushes, like the specific like branch and leaf clusters that we'll do for the trees that are in the far. That'll be for the trees over here. We'll actually do like individual leaves and branches. For this line, this midline here, we won't need that much detail. And this has no detail other than a vague shape and color. Man, I'm really liking how this is shaping up. So let's get back to work, you lazy hump. Fade in the far forest, and now we'll do we'll call this one tree line, which will be here. I should probably actually do a line, a shore break. So let's get into here. Let's get a round brush, very small. I'm just going to cut across there. So we're going to make that our water line. Oh, yeah, that helps. Raise that up a smidge. Yeah, okay. We'll let that sit. So now we know our tree line needs to be down to this point here. That is our breaking point. And then we'll add hill in front of that and start building up. Again, here. So let's grab color references and get after it. So it looks like we have two different colored trees. We've got this red going on here and then this darker, like bluishness that's going on. What's this one all about? So dark, dark tree, highlights of dark tree, and then light tree. Trying to figure out how this forest works. Super dark, very red. It seems like there's two different types of trees. I like how I like this dotting effect here. So this is great. Building confidence. Let's grab this one. We'll start with the darkest of the darks first. We're going to let's see if we can fake this. Hold on. LeFou, I'm afraid I've been thinking. It's a dangerous pastime, I know. This is another brush that I use, which is a backfilling tree line that I'm going to use right now to backfill the tree line. You look at it, it's basically just a modeled texture here of a block. But when you've got a forest that you're doing and there's an indiscriminate amount of trees backing away from the camera that you can't see, This is a good way to just add in just bulk texture. So I'm going to then dot down here at a smaller size just to fill in that gap. And then we can use the same brush as our smudge brush. I'm going to hit save here real quick. And I'm going to duplicate this layer. So I'm not 100% on this. No, I am not liking that. That is not the right effect to use. It's good for adding, but it's not doing me well for smudging. So do we dare go back to the eyelash brush? Yes, of course we do. It's a consistent image. It'll help feed consistency. So we'll just make it a larger brush. I don't know if this is the right way to do this or not. Nope, I don't like that. Let's get rid of that. Let's bring this one back. I do like that. I do like that ridge line, that break in there. That feels good. Raise it up a smidge. I don't want to block the back too much. Let's see about working underneath though. Let's see. No, I don't need to worry about that. What I do want to do is erase at the base here a little bit. Just gonna razor at that a little bit just to thin it down. That feels good. Too much. Just a wisp. There, that feels really good. Okay, we can use that as our base. And then I'm just going to smudge around here. Just make sure we don't have any phalanges poking down. Come on, baby. It is really locking up on me today. You are completely locked up. Holy shit. Did it just crash? Nope, it restored. Thank God. It is crying. It doesn't like how aggressive I'm brushing. I'm pulling on the on this eyelash brush as a smudge tool. That feels pretty cool. Yeah. Okay. Great. So that's a good backdrop. So we're going to add another layer on top of that. We're going to use a different color. Something like that. We'll go there. And then we're going to go back to just classic roundies and start working. I want some outstanding trees. So I'm going to have some height. Yeah, that color will be fine. Especially over here. Start over here and then work our way over. We're going to, let's see, Let's go with our conifer foliage brush as usual. Let's flatten it out. I'm almost out of time. Yeah, I got 10 minutes left. We can do some trees. Okay, so hold on. Yeah, this will work. I just have to do an upsweep effect like that. I'm just zigzagging back and forth and just like doing. You can see me. You can see how I'm doing it. I'm just doing like this little pendulum swing. It creates this pleasant little texture here for this tree. That's the base color. So then I'm going to come back over here and grab reference to this and stack on top of it the same type of brush but with a different color. So it's going to have shadow effects start dripping in here. And then we're going to use the same eraser here at a low opacity so that we can erase a little bit of the texture we just added in without getting rid of all of it. So we can have some shadow inferred in there without overwhelming the piece. There we go. It's a little too prevalent. That feels better. There we go. Now just do this a dozen times, and they'll be good to further blend into the piece. So, pitter patter. We'll erase a little bit of that to blend it in. And then we'll smudge down. Add another layer. And then we'll erase that to fade it in. Create a little bit of texture without overwhelming it. I want to come back over here a little bit and just dot some more of this in. There, that feels pretty good. I think this will work. So let's just keep doing that. It's a very Bobby Rossi sort of technique. And then erase that a little bit. Something that Bob can't do is erase. So we want to take advantage of the tools that we have available to us to compensate for the tools that we don't have that he has available to us, available to him. But the end result is similar. Fuck all. I did it wrong. I'm having layer issues today, man. I am not keeping them separated well. There. This is where we're needing to be. Now we can do that, and we can erase this layer without destroying the thing underneath it. There we go. And then we erase that a little bit to thin it down. There. There we go. Now it's starting to fluff out. Reset that a little bit. And then layer over that again with this. And then we'll thin that down a little bit. $7.51. My gut says this is a good breaking point, so I'm going to go ahead and break point here. But I can have these in here. And then we can do more trees, add those in, and we're just going to basically be just adding bulk. So I'm going to be doing, 40 of these trees. I might actually do some of these off screen to not bore you with having to do these over and over again. But we're going to work one color with this, and we're going to work this color as well. Yeah, the colors that we have in here, these we're going to basically stack up trees just like we see happening here. But you can see like there's trees that continue back here into the distance, and you just lose track of them. So this baseline that we have here that separates this foreground from the background, this tree line here, is going to mostly be covered over with actual individual trees that we're putting in here to help pull forward. But we'll have this army of trees in the background. That just helps add volume. It's just pixel volume. And once we get done with all of that, it'll be wrapping around here. Again, we have, this is already coming into place. It's just like this will be its own sort of thing. Merge down. There, that's more accurate. See, so we'll have this. These foreground bits here will help take care of the curvature of these trees back here as we continue. There. Right, so this is already being replaced by this, and now we just have these foreground here, which helps push all of that back further. Layering up in front of it pushes the stuff behind it further back. So the forest this will end up looking good as we stack it up, and we can curve around like this to add some volume over here, and then curve around and add some volume here. So these trees here are a little short, but as we add more trees in, we'll continue adding up size and increments so that as it winds its way around here, we can see like a logical crescent that's happening here. And then we got this, we have this land here that's going to clip off the water back here. Like that. Delete. There. So this will create this neat little like pooling bend effect that then goes off screen that way. That's the goal anyway. That's where we're going with this. And then we'll add in more interesting points of feature. But I'm liking the composition. I think this is coming together really nicely. I think once we get some trees up here like this, add in that bulk, it'll feel good. I don't want to necessarily block this ridgeline here, but I am going to have a couple more trees in here like this to help fill out that space a little bit more. That's about what we're going to be looking at. Hey, what's up? I got to go. Hey, well, right on, Fernando. I'm out of here too. So I will see you guys later. Yeah, I'm just kind of, blotty-blahing with myself here real quick. But yeah, that's it for the day, guys. Thanks a lot. I'll be back tomorrow morning to do some game design, converting the rogue into updating the rogue and getting it consistent with our new mechanics for the color mana system. And that's it. I'm out of here. So I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye-bye.